The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aqueduct. Cloudy skies, but still mild here at the Big A with the temperature in the 50s. Right now, the main track is muddy and it is sealed. And in today's first race, there are no changes. A rider change in the second race for number 3 Halpert to Kendrick Carmouche. Kendrick Carmouche on the 3 Halpert in the second. No changes in the third, and no changes in race 4, which starts the pick 6. Couple of scratches in race 5, scratch 3, Pathological, and 5, Curtis. Scratch 3 and 5 out of the 5th. In the 6th race, there's a rider change on number 2, My Girl Annie, to Jacqueline Davis. Jackie Davis rides the 2, My Girl Annie. In the 7th race, scratch 3, Passion, 4, Captivating Cara, and 9, Appreciate. Scratch 3, 4, and 9 out of race 7. Today's 8th race is the La Verdad Stakes, and there are no changes. 9th and final race, scratch the 1A, Shinjuku. Scratch the 1A out of the 9th. Main track muddy and sealed here at Aqueduct, and we'll come back at 11:50 to recap the changes. First race post today is at 12:20. Up next, Serling and Stabile. They're talking horses.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the day after New Year's. Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. How's everything today?
Everything's good.
Good. Glad to hear it.
We've already got to spend some time together
We
today.
did. We spent some quality time this morning. Track is what? Muddy and sealed?
Muddy and sealed.
I think...
Supposed to get snow tomorrow. Supposed to get an inch of snow tomorrow
there you
morning.
go. Oh, an inch. Whew, that's like a storm. I grew up in Saratoga. I'm a hardened snow veteran,
I know
my
you
friend.
are.
Okay,
I know,
inch of snow.
I look forward
His nose
to...
is like a sneeze.
So when I leave here tonight, this evening or whatever, tonight, and you'll see all of the snow trucks out, the sanitation department.
Oh, I know.
Phil might be on one. Phil might be on one of them
Really?
for all we know. Yeah, yeah.
Big
Spreader
news.
and the.
I can tell by looking at Bernadette Peters' roof deck across the way from me. I can see how much it snowed.
Went to school with her cousin Lisa
But the
Giordano.
thing is that I see the snow on her deck, and sometimes it looks like a nice winter wonderland. She's got a very nice deck. It's sort of nice, a lot of trees and stuff. And then I go down the street, there's nothing down there.
Nothing there.
I know somewhere between floor number 16 and the ground, the snow just disappears.
Belmont Park, when it gets cool in October, sometime the rain will start out as snow up where we are, and you'll see the snow. And the first time it happened to me.
When's the last time you were in that office? When's the last time you were in that office for 2 straight days? You abandoned me.
God, I couldn't.
You abandoned me.
Well, I couldn't give you an answer to that
we
question.
used to be next to each other every day, and you just abandoned me. Now I got Sonny. Just Sonny. I had Sonny before, but now I had Sonny and you, and now I have just Sonny. Okay, nothing personal, Sonny, but we liked when the Big A was out of the mix. It's like when the Marx Brothers if Harpo left. Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member
That's
of
an
Naira
honor.
Bets.
Thank you.
By the way, we were talking about those 10 top movies that Ron McQuett put up. He didn't put in a day at the races. How do you leave? How is a day at the races not one of the 10 top racing movies with the Marx Brothers?
Yeah, that has to be
Night
on
at
the
the
list.
Opera is on TCM Wednesday night, by the way. Johnny I, a big Marx Brothers fan as well.
That doesn't
Anyhow,
surprise
Max
me.
Batuna, the greatest. I've seen all those movies a million times. Duck Soup, my favorite. We will match you $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code BONUS200. Join Naira Bets. Support racing, and more importantly, is keeping the money in the game. The money needs to always be circulating throughout the game, not slipping out to outsiders. We have something here, a $3,000 late pick 500. It's Santa Anita, by the way. That should be a big.
It's a great race place.
It is a great place. You've never been, but
I've
Santa
never
Anita is really a marvelous place. If you hit the late pick 5 on Naira Bets, you have to opt in, of course. There's no opt-in there, but you got, I assume
That's
you do.
cash, by the way. That's not points, folks.
You
That's
hit
3
it and
dimes.
You split it, and you can watch and listen to the dulcet tones of our good friend Frank Miramati.
The Mirror Man.
Spoke to Frank briefly yesterday.
Talked to him a couple of
And,
days ago for New Year's.
What else do we have? America's Day at the Races.
Boom.
2:30 to 5:30. I will be on. Maggie's back today, by the way. Maggie and I will be with Lafitte. I will be on 2 to 4:30. Maggie will go upstairs and join Lafitte for the last hour.
FS1.
FS1 today, yes. We, all right, so race number 1. It's number 1. On the surface of things, looks like a very good event for Chad Brown.
It does.
And we'll start out with Precipitate. And the thing about Precipitate, he'll probably win. Or she'll probably win, excuse me. He will do nothing. She will. First of all, she should have won this race.
She absolutely should have won this
A
race.
disgraceful loss for this horse. On yesterday's racetrack, and the track we've pretty much seen all week, and there's just no reason at this point to believe it's going to be much different. This horse will probably win just because she's loose in the lead. And, she is an omni-fig. Every race she's run is faster by a lot than any fig that anybody here, especially on the dirt, has ever run. I don't know. Chad Brown got some stats, like 180 day plus on the dirt, plus layoffs with maidens, 5 for 21, low ROI. I don't know, man. Where has this horse been?
But aren't these the stat busters a little bit, Andy? I mean, you look at Miss Brazil and obligatory.
Let me put, this horse feels to me like she's going to probably win because of the field she's meeting, and the racetrack is going to help her.
Absolutely.
If this racetrack I was sure was fair, I'd bet against this horse. I don't like this horse. This horse has an odor to me. This horse just has an odor to me. I don't like it. This horse has had plenty of chances for Chad Brown. Listen, she lost.
Andy, plenty of chances to Miss Brazil and obligatory. And I don't know if Miss Brazil's a graded stakes winner, but the
I
other
would bet
filly
money
is.
that she's not. I've just had enough of this horse. And I don't love default protection either, but I defaulted into her because she's second time starter, got wired last time, horse came back and obviously took advantage of the racetrack yesterday to win. It took her, honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if even the 2 wins. Tell you something about the 2's race. It's not very good, but it's better than that 45 buyer suggests. Looking at that field, not bad. Let me give you a number. Linda Rice, Off the claim, a maiden's off the claim in the dirt. You know she's 18 for 38.
Wow.
Yeah, 264 ROI.
See,
second time stars, 2 for 4 with 3 hitting the board. So
I'm not trying to be critical of you, but if you're right about Precipitate, isn't the horse to bet Flower Moon? Because shouldn't she be? If Precipitate's not ready, shouldn't Flower Moon be in front? Flower Moon might be in front anyway.
Yeah, no, you make a great point. You make a great point.
Flower Moon might be in front anyway.
You know what? You make a great point. That's very fair.
So, I mean,
I would use all 3 of them. You know what? I might even be, if I was betting doubles, I mean, if I'm investing in the pick 5, I'm going to use all 3 of them. But if I was betting some doubles, I want to fool around. Well, I like a long shot in the second race. Probably a stupid horse, but
that's okay.
I'd be inclined to take a shot against this horse. It depends where I'm going with it.
Okay.
I don't have a super strong opinion here. I just think the 4 may be a bit of a, I'm not sold. So race number 2. Race number 2. What did you do in race number 2?
I went to the 7 Forest Spirit to my man Wayne Potts. I had a tough time with this race. I didn't. You have a. Oh yeah. I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had looked up other horses that looked much better than that figure. The winner of that, Linda Rice horse, came back to win at Fairgrounds yesterday, improved its buyer figure 26 points.
The first race you're talking about. Yeah.
That
horse is depending on how the racetrack. You see, I think Precipitate's going to come back and run well. But if you have any kind,
I don't think she's going to run well. I think she's going to win. Maybe because the racetrack carries her, and the rest of the field isn't very good.
Okay.
But I don't think she's much horse. I think be very careful with that horse.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, she's certainly not something I'm looking to tap out on.
She's a very sketchy favorite. Race number 2. What you doing here?
I went to Forest Spirit, but it's a tepid selection. I probably should have.
One for 50 Wayne Potts. You're going to really go right in.
If
Wayne Potts wasn't your buddy, you wouldn't be picking his horse. You'd say, I'm not going to bet this guy until he starts winning.
I would.
Fact or fiction?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Fact.
Well, for the most part, fact. But I would imagine this horse is going to be forward today.
Well, he's not fast in the 2. He's not fast in the 4, and he's not fast in the 5. But other than that, he's right on the lead. So if all those get left,
but I have to think
he doesn't have a lot of speed. He's been involved in very slow paces.
Yeah, I'm hoping Jose realizes that and realizes that way the track. Obviously knows how the track is playing.
Here's the problem with that. If you Cook County, is that the horse in the rail? Is that his name? The favorite in the Jerome.
I can't recall. Yeah, Cook.
That horse.
Wow, we just talked about him.
That horse ran 3rd because
he had to get shoved on.
He had to be ridden into the race because of the way the track was playing. And it mitigated his running style. So taking horses out of their running styles, especially favorites, and this was 5-2 on the line for a trainer who's won for 40-something over the last 3+ months in New York, is a problematic thing. They don't automatically run well just because they're put towards the front end. They may be uncomfortable. And the other thing is, he's not fast enough to make the lead over all of the 2, 4, and 5. And presumably at least one of them will probably try for the lead.
Well, you're right.
And it'll probably be Jackie, because she's pretty aggressive on the 5, and he's the fastest horse. So Jose's going to ride him out of his position. I don't know, man. Don't you feel like he kind of just should have won some of these races?
I wanted to pick Halpert, but the way the racetrack's been playing, I mean, it's kind of
really.
Why
do you want Halpert? His dirt races are atrocious.
I think I wanted to try Halpert in here.
Why?
I have nowhere else to really go in here.
Okay. Well, you don't watch replays. So the beauty of that is that we can actually show replays. And we'll show, now I don't know if Run Casper Run is good enough, to be honest with you, but I will tell you, and we'll show you the first 3/8 of this race, that you got Run Casper Run, got completely left in here.
He's the 11 in the purple,
Broke a little slow, is out there. And this horse just goes on to, and I'm not blaming Eric. I mean, there's not much he could do after that.
No.
I don't know if this horse is very good. That's my problem. But I will tell you this horse ran well. And you see the start, he gets left. Now he's 5 wide. He is a full 5 wide. I'll tell you something, the inside was good this day. It wasn't a huge bias. It was a pretty fair track. But this horse was out in no man's land. And watch this race. This horse never stops running. This horse gets beaten 3 lengths, was wide as could be, got left. Now, I understand, still ran a 53 buyer, so even if you incorporate those things, it's tough to get the horse much above 60. Well, you picked a horse on top, was the 5-2 morning line, and ran a 61 buyer. Now, I'm not saying that's going to, but who are the killers in here?
No, I'm using this horse. I don't love Forest Spirit. I didn't have the morning line. I probably should have taken a look at it.
In this race.
No, I mean, I'm using this horse. I mean, listen, the horse was claimed from Juan Vasquez off 2 voided, then there were 2 voided claims.
But the horse has run every bit as well for Chris Engelhardt than he has for Juan Vasquez.
He did.
And let me ask, it was 1 voided claim. But anyway,
1 voided claim.
They had the waiver when they came off the layoff, frankly. And the horse showed last time why. Who is Brooke Ficarella? the trainer of the 5. I see the husband, Jeffrey Vicarelli, so there's familial relationship.
I don't know.
I've never. I looked up
1 for 37 last year.
Well, I looked up the trainer's record. Yes, she's 3 for 119, with a 16-cent ROI. 0 for 2nd off the claim, but 3 of them did finish 3rd, for what it's worth. Not familiar.
I'm embarrassed to tell you, I don't remember this woman running a horse, and she's 0 for 1 at the meet. I don't remember this.
You shouldn't just be embarrassed. You should be ashamed of yourself. You really should be.
I don't.
Really
listen, that's
be ashamed.
listen.
It's a shameful moment.
You like to swing on me a little bit up here, but that's something I ordinarily am pretty good with.
You are.
I don't even remember this woman running a horse.
I'm going to use the "I wasn't here and wasn't paying a lot of attention" angle. I'm going to use Mo
Knew
Mischief.
that was
I'm going to
coming.
use Mo Mischief because A, he can be forward, and B, was claimed by Mike Maselli.
Fresh gelding.
And I use horses that Mike Maselli claims.
Yeah.
I'm a big Mike Maselli fan. Race number 3. Well, my friend Steve Christ and Ken Durrett with Vivazano, they can win today, but I got to tell you, I've decided to help her along
By not
picking her for the first time in about 7 years. And I don't pick them because Steve owns them, but I picked them because I thought she. My concern with her is that she's lost her speed.
And we talked. You know, it's funny. We talked about this in September and October. It's just it's completely eluded her.
Speed yet.
Yeah, it's gone. And that's, you know, that's probably the word. It's like, almost like when a shortstop loses his legs.
So you didn't pick Wayne Potts on top. Why didn't you pick Wayne? Not Wayne. I'm sorry. Juan Vasquez off the claim of the maiden. Why didn't you pick that horse on top?
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why would I? I mean, that was
You pick everyone.
That was one of the hungriest fields I've ever seen in my life.
It was a hungry field, but this horse is the horse to beat in here.
Yeah, I would guess. But you know, the one thing, and obviously the track is going to help this horse. But I mean, Madame Rose, she's pretty fleet-footed early on in her
Don't show
races.
the replay yet. Why do you like Juliana's Rose?
Listen, an off-the-turf race. This was again not the best of fields, in my opinion. But at least she has a little experience on a wet track. She passed some horses this day, and you know,
Does it bother you? She was in an off-the-turf race.
well,
She was entered on
yeah,
the turf?
absolutely. But
She was entered as an MTO.
Field held
and
together.
And you're going to get on that because you did a very
field
big,
held together.
But no, she was entered as an MTO, and it's important to note that because you made a massive faux pas in my absence on a horrible favorite in the first race one day that you said they've been entering this horse in the turf. And now they finally get in the turf, and the horse has been entered as an MTO, and all of it starts. So you have to start. We have to.
Who
be
was
sure.
that?
It was.
I gotta go back and look at that. First race, you said?
I think it was the Sunday that I was the first. I think it was the 5th.
Okay, I'll take a look.
The 5th. There was a horse in the first race. This horse was entered as an MTO. We will show the replay. This horse ran extremely well, and it should also be noted this horse was really bet that day at 3-1. The number 5 horse is going to be about a half to 3/4 of a length slow. So this horse is back there and really gets in big trouble.
gets
She
shuffled.
is moving up the rail right there and gets completely shut off right there and just taken out of the race. So now she's going slow. She's rushed up to make a move, and these are relatively lower level horses. She's made that, and she just keeps on running. Now, she got a decent trip from this point on, but she had endured quite a lot at this point. And don't forget, this is a race that was eventually won by a horse that came from the clouds. I thought she ran very well, and she probably has a lot more speed if she breaks. She's the horse to beat in this race, but we'll see. In this racetrack, I don't have any confidence in anybody's the horse to beat.
Right, and the problem is we're assuming she's going to have more speed, right? But if she doesn't...
Well, she had speed because she got left and she moved up and then she got steadied out. So we know she has some speed.
Yeah. She ran well from, like you said, from the point she got shuffled on, she ran well. She pulled a good trip, but she ran well. She almost gets to the front, and then Candy Monet comes over the top. But
she had enormous trouble, and she's a likely winner of this race.
Absolutely.
But I think Vivazano can win. I'm going to use the 2 and 5 mostly. I guess I'll use 2, 4, 5. I'm not letting Juan Vasquez beat me.
No, not with a horse with some speed whose figures to just sit right outside of Madame Rose, and the way the track's been playing.
Madame Rose, 22.
The way the track's been playing.
It's hard to imagine that we have a different racetrack today, but I suppose anything's possible. Rail very good yesterday as well.
Nothing's changed. The problem with that is, right, nothing's changed it, right? We've had 3 kind of different racetracks.
It rained a little more after we left. It was raining when I was going home.
Yep.
It was raining till late, and I mean, in the city it was.
Rained the whole. I was out by Dan Lowlett. I was out by him. It rained the whole ride home.
Race number 4 starts to pick 6, And I can't believe you picked Kumar. How could you pick this horse?
I didn't know what to do. This was another
The first thing you do is you pitch Kumar.
Hold on a second.
How's he going to win?
Time out.
I know you're picking every Gustavo Rodriguez horse.
Have you seen the racetrack?
It doesn't matter. He's not fast. And unlike the last race where there's
There's
absolutely no
intent
speed.
at least.
Unlike
He'll be forward.
Unlike the last race he ran in, there's actual horses that can be a bit forward, including the 2 Fast Break, who's going. And you've got even Magnetron, but certainly Fast Break's going. This horse absolutely crawled on the front end last time. What are we showing here? I guess we're going to show Fast Break.
Fast Break.
Okay, Francisco wanted to move the
You
conversation.
trust him going a mile?
Did I pick him?
No, but
I don't
what
care.
I'm saying.
I tell you what.
Okay.
I will book every cent you want to bet on Kumar in this race. Every cent of it.
I'd be careful with that, man. I mean, what if he just sits off a Fast Break and Fast Break
He
can go this
cannot
far?
win this race.
I don't know how you can say that.
Oh, no, he
Andy.
can. There's a way he can win. Every other horse that's forward falls
I
down,
don't know how you
and he
can
goes
say that.
25-50. Then he has a chance.
I really
to win.
don't know how you could say that.
Has a chance. He's not the speed. Anyway, the horse, by the way, well, we'll get back to that in a second. But no, this horse won a race last time that he was just absolutely gifted, and he still barely held on. He is as dressed up as a racehorse could be. These are the kind of horses I live to bet against.
But you're acting like he's going to be the favorite.
He should
He's
be
the
10
third
to
or
1
he's
in
the
here.
third or fourth
he should
choice
be
in here.
10 to 1 in here.
What does David have him? Third choice?
7 to 2.
Yeah, he'll be the third or the
I'm going
fourth
to take
choice.
the 1. I don't love him. With Kendrick down the inside, they entered him cheap with a higher level yesterday. They clearly want to dump this horse. Maybe he can't run anymore. I didn't like anybody in here. I just thought that Kumar was basically a pitch. It seemed like the horses on paper could win with the 1, 2, 5, and 7. I didn't want Kumar, so I took the horse that would be the biggest price in the 3, and I picked the 1 over the 2 and 7.
Tyler Service butt dialed me a couple of days ago.
There's news. The horse was live in 5, Robbie Falcone, in the first race that day. He was never entering the turf until that day and had absolutely no turf pedigree whatsoever, which is why they kept entering him MTO until they finally ran him in a turf race and found out that he's not a turf horse. But he was 6 to 5. We got to bet something here. Okay. What are we going to bet?
Who do you like running for home?
We're at 90.
How about?
I'll bet you the 1 over the 5. I'll bet you the 2 over the 5, and I'll bet you the 7 over the 5, all for 1 unit.
You got it.
Okay.
Who's your top? Let's do 2 with the 1.
No.
Why not? It's your top pick. My
I
top
don't
pick.
care.
Your top pick.
The one is circumspect. He could be. His career could be over. He's being
You want
dropped.
2 with Fast Break?
No, 1, 1, 1. We're
All
fine.
right. Okay.
Race number 5.
I wanted to try to
We
win
can do
4.
2 with each. We can do 2 with every one of them.
Sure.
Okay, so it's 96. I mean,
I'll win at least 2 lunches that race.
okay. I'll bet you another 2 lunches that you don't. You're the most ridiculous. You're
that
down
would be
90 lunches and you're arrogant about the lunches. You might want to
Because
relax
you
on
have-
that
you
one
have-
because
you
the
have-
proof is out.
you have-
Unlike your other
Hold on a
nonsense,
second.
the
You
proof
have
is
2
out there.
horses. You have 2 horses that one horse you fully admit is circumspect.
Anthony,
in the 1.
Anthony,
and you think Fast Break's going a mile?
You love horses that are good bet against.
I don't love them.
No, you love them.
I don't love
You
him.
love
I just
them.
think he'll sit off the 2.
You love horses that are good bet against. That's your thing. Horses off wins that are going to be overbet. That's like your thing.
But
This horse
I don't think he's
overbet.
going to be overbet.
Speaking of good bet against, as we kick off the late pick 5 in race number 5, you've got long term on champ. Speaking of good bet against, where are you going with this guy? He lost his script. Do you see Script's performance at Parks on Tuesday, by the way? You have time after the show. Take a leisurely walk to your car, stop at a few rest stops on the way down. He's at the 8th pole.
Okay. So if you have I didn't notice that you had you have a strong opinion against this horse?
Who would like this horse?
Okay.
He's a short-priced horse in the morning line that's not making the lead, that can't really run. Other than that, he's awesome.
Name any lunch bet you want involving this horse.
Oh, big tip?
No.
Oh, there's a tip.
No.
I think we all can sense there's a big tip, big story.
No.
Why would anybody like this horse?
This horse will gallop today.
Oh, okay. He's got no shot, this horse. Anyway.
Name your lunch bet.
Okay, I'll bet you the 1 over him, and I'll bet you the 8 over him. I'll bet you the 1 and 7 and 8 over him for 2 each.
Done. So we did 2 each. I have Kumar.
Yeah.
And 2 each.
No, this is not Kumar.
No,
You're already at 96. So there's a real possibility. It could be 102 going into the 2nd week of the new year. Long term. What do you like about this horse?
This horse stretching out off the first race with the bad start? He got to be 2 lengths.
Okay, first
he's getting
of all,
Lasix and he's stretching
First
out.
of all, you should probably watch replays instead of just looking at short comps. I know we're just on a
watched
TV
the
show.
replay.
No, you didn't.
I love this
His
horse
start,
today.
He actually
He
stumbled
lunged.
forward.
Yeah.
He had no trouble at all. That was a ridiculously slow pace set by a future $15,000 claimer. And he's Pletcher and he's stretching out. What do you think the 8 is going to do in here?
He's going to go to the lead.
Okay, just checking. Okay. Don't you move up the Courvoisier race a little bit yesterday after
Yeah,
he won
I
the
would-
stake?
I
We'll
would
take a
think-
look
I
at
would
the
think
horses
you
out
have
of
to,
it.
yeah.
And we'll take a look at the 6 Constitution Lawyer, who, on a fair racetrack's the horse to beat in this race. He broke slow and then got shut off at this point. Now, I do think Louis Saez did a good job. He got him over the rail in the first turn. He saved ground. I think that Perfect Light ran fine in this race, and he's the horse to beat on today's race. But Constitution Lawyer, we're going to presume he breaks better. He gets Lasix. He draws the rail. It's a horse that ran well in spots in his first start. He couldn't gain on the horse in front. Maybe they were better. Maybe he just did too much. I mean, look where he is right now in the back of the pack. We can pick the race up the last 3 aces now. It's more than 150 yards. And I thought he ran very well. I don't understand long term. I thought long term is the kind of horse that, in my opinion, you clearly completely disagree, that he is all dressed up with nowhere to go. He comes out of a horrifically bad maiden race where he has this fake stumble at the start, which didn't hurt him at all. And he just didn't run very well behind a horse that's going to be running for a tag, if not in his next start, sooner than later. I don't know what you would like about this horse.
It was
He's slow.
his race than who he didn't beat for me.
What did he
I just
do
think
in
the
there?
race under his belt and stretching out, he's going to be very dangerous today.
The mighty rum jar. Okay, we look at it. You
Poor
and I
rum
handicap
jar.
completely differently. I think the interesting horse in here is Order of Magnitude. I know he didn't run well in his first start, but that's a race that really bears a close watching, because until the stretch, this horse was planted on the rail, and the rail was dead that day. So by the time Irad got this horse off the dead rail, he was already 15 lengths behind and really had no chance. There was no real way that he was going to be gaining ground, particularly in a race that was dominated towards the front end. In fact, the winner wired the field, a first-time starter for Jonathan Thomas. This horse, the fact that Chad ran, doesn't this horse have a little bit of a risk-taking look to you?
That's an interesting comparison. Yeah, a little kitchen sink now, the blinkers, the Lasix.
Yeah, it just, well, he didn't get Lasix because he made his winning start on December 13th
Right.
last year. But
Correct.
he left this horse up here to run in the dirt. In a lot of ways, I think that's a positive, because talking about a trainer that, as you know, barely runs down at Gulfstream Park. And it seems like a lot of his better, you think of Cloud Computing, right? Who was the horse that ended up going the wrong way that I always liked, the closer that was second to Gotham. He was up here last winter. Risk Taking was up here last winter. Yeah, what is it? Growth something?
Growth Engine.
No, that's another horse. I can't keep the names of Seth's horses straight. I think that Order of Magnitude is an extraordinarily interesting horse here. The problem is, on this gimmick racetrack, you can't have confidence in horses like this. You just can't.
Right.
Unless the track changes, it's hard to have much confidence. But I think this is, we saw this race very differently. We'll see how it plays out. Lots of lunch bet actions, lots more action to come. We got 4 more to go.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
We're back, and we've got 20 more minutes to spar. Just 20 more this week, so make the most of it. I don't know. I don't know how much I have left in me, because I really don't have a lot of strong opinions on the
the
rest.
middle races were good because I actually had good opinions in the 2 races, and you hated both horses.
I mean, I don't like Quality Stones in the 6th, but can't she wire the field? I mean, she's not very good.
it was the Stones horse yesterday.
But
should have made money in it. We both should have made some money in the 7th race yesterday. You really liked More Grateful. And I kind of felt like
no,
this.
I was allowed in the Big 5, and the only closer all week to make a big run beat me, ran me down.
Yeah.
But no, race I made money in was when that horse from Philly ran second. Exactly $86. I did okay with that.
Okay.
So, see, I think of the speeds, I want Violent Point. Off the claim for Linda, back form, and this horse will be sitting off a Quality Stone. So I actually think the 5. In fact, I probably should have switched my picks because of the racetrack. I didn't really think about it a lot.
Okay.
I probably should have gone 5-1. As far as Bustin' Bay, who you have on top, why do you like this horse?
Robbie Falcone's horses are all running. He's going to be forward.
So this is just all more
No,
trainer
I
stuff.
mean, it's not. I mean,
Well, this horse can't win based on his last race. I mean, first of all, he was on a big inside speed track last time. She can't make the lead today. And she's coming out of a bottom-level race and claim from Juan Vasquez to boot.
But again, isn't this
with the
horse
bias.
going
But
to
you
be
like
forward?
horses? No, she's not fast. I mean, she could be sitting 3rd or 4th, I suppose. I mean, if the 5 or 7.
I have
get
0.
left.
She's
got no speed.
The way the track's playing, yes, Quality Stone's going. But if this was an even racetrack, she's the first toss, right?
Well, I actually think the first toss is the 6 because she's going to take money. And
You put the horse 3rd.
Well, where else am I going in here? To me, I have the race between the 1 and 5. Somebody else wins, I lose.
Okay.
I mean, if it's a super speedway, I suppose the 3 could win, but I think the 5 will stalk her and beat her. Oh, no, I don't like Bustin' Bay at all.
Okay.
I mean, I've got her 3rd because where am I going to go? Diva Banker doesn't look like she can run anymore. My Girl Annie isn't very good. And Allure Fortune, OK Honey. I mean, OK Honey, I probably just put OK Honey higher because, you know, I have mad love for her.
You do.
But, I mean, I understand. What is your big knock on Fair Point? We'll go back on Fair
Regis,
Regis.
you mean?
I'm sorry, Fair Regis, and we'll go back to her race 3 back. I know it was a dry track, but she's running against better horses, isn't she?
I think the point you made about it being a dry track, I think as she's gotten older, I think the wet track is kind of a little bit of an Achilles heel for her now.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe.
I mean, the last time she won was 4.5 furlongs running against a bunch of horses at Finger Lakes that hadn't run for 5 or 6 months.
I should have gone 5-1 here, and
Yeah,
I should have reevaluated after the track changed. But I'm going to use the 1 and 5 in here. You know, I feel like she's good enough to win, and I think.
But you don't think the track hurts her too? I mean, her speed's gone as well.
I would prefer that. Yes, I would prefer we had a fair dry track. I should have gone 5-1 here. I screwed up. I made a
That's
mistake.
okay.
I did. I should have changed it.
Well,
after the
I'm
race
sure
track.
you assumed that after 3 days that it would change a little bit.
Yeah, but I should have changed it last night. I should have done that. But, you know, that's what happens when you get home at like 11 o'clock on Saturday nights because you're on TV for 9 hours. I'm going to use that as my excuse. Once again, you've got a horse on top that I would like to book. But we'll see. But you're right.
Hold on. What are we doing?
No, we're not paying this race.
Okay.
We've got enough bets for the day.
Okay.
Race number 7, race number 7 just completely fell apart for me. I like the 3 in here. And
Should we 6-10-1?
Going to bet on Passion or Passion.
You can put the 7 4th, gang. Thanks.
Okay. Go ahead with Big Tony's Girl.
Just this is strictly a wet track play. This filly runs much better. I think at least she performs better when she's on a wet track. She's another horse that
She's run okay on dry tracks.
she has, but she also for some reason on the wet track she has more speed than she does on the dry track races.
The paces were slower.
Yeah, I don't know if I completely buy that.
But doesn't the fact that she basically doesn't have speed bother you?
It's wet again. So on a dry track, yeah, it would bother me, but no, the way the track's playing.
We'll agree to disagree. I don't have the energy left to argue about crap like that. But isn't the 1? I mean, doesn't Eric Cancel have no choice but to go with the 1? I don't have a big problem with Big Tony's Girl. I just don't think she has much speed, and I do think you're right about the wet track. Yeah. She has run okay on wet tracks, and she's just unreliable.
Yeah, the rail's he's supposed to go.
Just go. Now, I don't particularly like this horse, to be honest with
Me
you.
either.
But I have nowhere else to go. Yep. I like the 3 in here, and I didn't want to pick the 6 on top because I think she may end up being favored or very close to favoritism. I think she'll be a shorter price than Tangoberg.
If it was a fair track, I would have wanted to mess with Queen Tigua a little bit.
Well, she has 1 for 27, so she's moving up to a win. Why? She ran her best race in a wet track. What are you talking about? She ran her best race in a wet track last time, and she's forward.
No. I mean, how forward do you think she can be?
I don't know. Listen, Betty Smile.
That's
can
what
be
I meant.
forward.
I didn't mean the wet track.
I'm going to use horses that can be forward, like the 1 and 7. I'll use 1, 6, 7 here to try to get through the race, but I lost my enthusiasm for this race with the scratch.
Enthusiasm.
Passion.
Untouchables, remember?
I think there's a very, very logical horse in the 8th race, the La Verdad.
Oh yeah?
Let's give a little love to La Verdad.
Come on, man. The truth. Nothing better than the truth. She was good.
What are we talking about?
That's what La Verdad means, the truth.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. Wow, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We'll take a look at Bank Sting. Anthony, you've loved Bank
My
Sting.
girl.
She's one of your
She's a
pets. You were right about
for
her.
sure.
She got an absolutely perfect trip last time when she won.
Couldn't have
She
scripted this
also
thing better, right?
Ran big, and I thought about let me take this call. If the track was fast, I might have tried to be a wise guy and put let me take this call on top, but I don't know. Bengsting's going to lose this race. She's just better than these horses.
She's just better than these horses. I mean, there's no. I mean, she's not an omni-fig, but man, she's her last three.
Crowded trade, by the way.
Crowded. Oh, from last year. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Second in the Gotham, third in the Wood.
Yeah, I'm just, I mean, I know we're telling you about a 2 to 5 shot,
Right.
but she'll probably win. I will say is we'll take a look at let me take this call. I think, did I put her, what race? Did I put up winning the extra heat or something? No, I didn't actually put her up. I mean, she's got races that can be there. She's the one horse that definitely has races that can make her a factor, but she just doesn't look like she really loves a wet track anymore, and she just leaves her form. It's just left her.
That's the problem, right? From the March layoff, she came back, and it's just been. What's happened now? Is it the fact that she's 7 now, and maybe she just doesn't like the moisture like she used to? She, there was a point in her career where she won half of her starts on a wet track.
Oh, I got to make a lunch bet here. I want to pick the 3 over the 1.
Okay, we can do that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the 3 over the 1.
Just do it for
one lunch.
Oh, yeah, just one lunch. We could have a
I'll
little
give you a
second
chance
half
to win
action.
one back after you're down 12.
We could have a little second half action.
Break it down to 101. I still want it to be over 100 by the end of the
It's funny how we both kind of lost steam the second half of the card because, I mean, in this race especially,
The 7th race with all the scratches, there's just not a lot to say about it. And this race, you've got a 2 to 5 that neither one of us is trying to beat.
This race is far more interesting 5 months ago when Let Me Take This Call's in form, and she has a little bit of an advantage because of the way the racetrack's playing.
What about Courageous Girl's race 2 back?
Yeah.
She actually ran pretty well. I mean, not well enough necessarily to beat. But I got to tell you,
You know what I'll say to you for that? The mile, I think she wants a little bit more ground because some of her better races are going the mile. Really? You look at her card and you look at her speed figures and you look at the races at a mile or over and you look at the sprint numbers, it's clear as day. She wants a little bit more ground.
I think that's poppycock, Anthony.
That's crazy.
Absolute poppycock.
That's
You think
crazy.
she lost her race last time because they went 7, but she would have run better if it was a mile? You want to make that argument? Go ahead.
No, but I'm going to say
you painted yourself in that corner.
But overall, look at the figs going a mile and an eighth.
I
Look
don't
at the
really
sprint
judge her by her
figs.
previous races. They're not sprint 7. There's no difference between 7 and a mile. They're the same race. And I think she's fine. In her last race, she actually would have run a higher figure. She ran a higher figure. At a mile, she would have run a lower figure. She's not consistent, and she ran a big race for
She beat Frost Me 2 back. And I got love for Frost Me, but Frost Me is really...
second to a stakes quality horse that's obviously got issues for Chad Brown, but I don't think she's worked since that last race. Because we had talked after that race, I saw Chad, and we were discussing maybe going to La Brea. And let me tell you something. I'm sure he wishes he could have gone to La Brea, because I don't think they've hit the wire at the La Brea yet.
How about Bella Sophia going out to California to run in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint against Gamine, and then the Connections not opting to go back to running that La Brea? If that's not one of the biggest faux pas in the history of racing in 2020, in the 2021 racing calendar, I don't know what is.
No comment. Race number 9. And the thing about it, the rest of the card is that, I obviously agree with you, but...
Stunning. That's one of the most stunning things. When they told me that, you could have knocked me over with a sneeze. And that's hard to do.
There's a horse that's currently successfully standing at stud. And one of the reasons he got a lot of press is because somebody you know very well suggested he go out to the Malibu as a 3-year-old. Anyhow, the number 4, 42 Ace, who we'll take a look at here, running second last time. I know one thing. This horse will win if he runs this race. The problem is, he's coming off a 9-month layoff, and we love Michelle Nevin. This is a negative drop, but it does seem like she wins with these horses, and given the scratch of the 1A, I mean, this horse is just supposed to go to the lead and just let the chips fall as they may.
Didn't she take another horse in this ownership change? And
there was a maiden 25.
Right,
you
she
can't
dropped
love
down
the drop down.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Because this horse ran more than competitive.
else do you go?
Was very competitive. It was competitive enough, I should say, for the special weight. And now the layoff combined with the drop to the bottom. But, I mean, the way this track's been playing, I mean, does have to go to mile off the 9 months. The drop bothers you. Where else do you go? Again,
I know you have to have Gustavo Rodriguez high in all your picks, but this horse is not very good.
Andy, Where are you supposed to go?
I've got the horse third.
Right,
With
Shinjuku coming out, another
maybe
horse that
one day V Pattern will run, but here's a problem with V Pattern. And V Pattern won't be favored. Now, David made the entry favored. I think he was wrong to begin with, but certainly because of Shinjuku.
Sure.
But this one has absolutely no speed whatsoever.
Zero. They put blinkers on. They took the blinkers off.
Just wonder if the horse can run at all. I've got a goofy horse I'm going to throw in this race. Bellboy.
This horse,
This horse got bet first time. Now, Pat Reynolds loves every horse he runs, so they all take money.
This horse opened like 3-1 first time.
Bellboy?
Was smashed in the pick 5. Smashed out in the pick 5.
Yeah. Well, Pat is like Carlos Martin on steroids. Right? I mean, his horses get bet off the board. It's like he's running around with a bullhorn on the front, like everywhere he can go. And we love Pat.
I know Pat.
And he's a man who doesn't mind being made fun of.
I know Pat since I'm about 5 years old. I'll tell you this.
He loves his horses.
There is not a funnier guy on that backstretch.
Oh, he's a funny man. I agree. He's a good guy. But,
his brother used to write for Saturday Night Live.
How did Big Brown pay $24 first time out, or $20?
The whole world knew about Big Brown.
How did he pay that price?
Remember watching the race here during Aquatoga on the first floor closest to the concession stand.
I was at Saratoga watching it.
I know you were.
On the first floor at
But
Saratoga.
I watched it on the end of the Jeremy Rose.
I mean, didn't he pay like
22.60?
Well, about like 10 or 11 lengths.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I think he's 11-1. But
by boundary.
I mean, with Pat announcing to the world, his voice has gotten maybe Paul kept him a little at bay back in the day. I don't know if anyone could keep Pat at bay. Anyway, I'm going to throw that horse in because he did take some money. He didn't do much running, so I'm going to throw him in somewhere. So, Mom, that is it. It's been a fun week. It's good being back.
Johnny's going to be happy. We're getting into him plenty of time today.
Oh, well, we can sit around and tell stories and sing songs and go until 11:52 if it annoys him. If it annoys John and Brielle, let's stay around at 11:52, 11:53. You need to go to Naira Bets because you think of how much fun you've had. I mean, really, this is the most fun you can have with your clothes on. Go and bonus 200. It's not that funny. That's one of the oldest lines in the book.
Went there when you went there.
It's one of the oldest lines in the book.
I said butt dial and I blushed a little bit. All right, Andy.
You should blush by saying that you got butt dialed by
I did.
By dropping names of trainers, Tyler Service, that nobody knows. Nothing personal, Tyler, but I think you'll agree. Use the promo code BONUS200. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. If you want to say like Chad Brown butt dial, like Todd Pletcher butt dial, then, at least have a
Both
little
of them have too, by the way.
to it.
I don't know how it got to me.
The only person who butt dials me all the time, Andy Beyer. He got the first iPhone that was ever sold. He's never figured out how to not butt dial the first person.
You have to have it happen a lot, right?
Andy. No, one person.
Really?
One person, Beyer.
See, I would think you have it happen more than...
I had to reprogram his phone so I wasn't first in it, but he still does it.
You got to be in front of me because A&D over A&T.
It happens less now that he's not biking as he's recovering, but he'll be back on his bike eventually. $3,000 hit and split. We call this a hit and split. We don't call it a bonus.
I haven't seen him on the bike path.
A hit and split. Andy used to bike well over 100 miles a week.
I'm sure he did.
I
didn't.
That's why we stayed in Miami when we wintered in Florida at Gulfstream. So we could bike that route around out to Key Biscayne, which, by the way, is a great. I love the park. Any of you guys been in the park with the beach at Key Biscayne? It's great. And finally, 2:30 to 5:30, Lafitte, Maggie, and I are here. Also be at Oaklawn. I think Gary's at Oaklawn, and. Maggie will be closing out 4:30 to 5:30 upstairs. Lafitte, she'll of course be in the paddock. She'll be in the paddock today as well, and good to have her back. I haven't seen her in the new year, and that's it. That's all we got. We're done. I'm going downstairs.
I'll buzz around a little bit today.
Good to know.
In my
Johnny I, promptly at 11:50 today.
Yes.
With the reprise, the Scratch and Jade. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend.
Hello, racing fans. Once again, welcome to Aqueduct. Cloudy skies above, the temperature in the low 50s. The main track is muddy and it is sealed. No changes to report in today's first race. Second race jockey change. Number 3, Halpert, will now be ridden by Kendrick Carmouche. Kendrick Carmouche on the 3, Halpert. No changes in the third and no changes in the fourth. We skip ahead now to race 5. Scratch 3, Pathological, and 5, Curtiz. Race 5, scratch 3 and 5. In the sixth race, a jockey change on the 2, My Girl Annie, to Jacqueline Davis. Jackie Davis rides the 2, My Girl Annie. In race 7, scratch 3, Passion, 4, Captivating Cara, and 9, Appreciate. Race 7, scratch 3, 4, and 9. In the 8th race, the La Verdad Stakes, number 5 is now 1 pound over. And in the 9th, scratch the 1A, Shinjuku. 9th race, scratch the 1A. Aqueduct's main track is muddy and sealed, and the opener is in 28 minutes at 12:20.